All right, so kind of doing a little tool review. Not sponsored by it, but this is a great walnut blasting tool. Now I did read on some of the reviews on it that it's not meant for a DIYer. I mean, DIY, I think it's a very simple process for it. It does come with 3 little adapters. I'm in the middle of using it, so that I might as well do it. Comes with an extra tip. So I know one guy complained about doing one on a V6 that he cut the tip just to get it in the valley a little bit easier. Also, does come with 2 walnut bags, and then right here, so let's say if you wanted to add the walnuts, you would pop these clips up, and then you would lift up the whole housing. This is the filter for that. Do not throw this away. You need to have this. Now basically this recycles itself. I only used 1 bag. I'm probably going to put a second bag in just to make it a little bit more easier on that. So just it keeps the flow going for the walnuts. Now I'm going to tell you one thing. The feed and the cleaning process is pretty amazing compared to, you know, at least the Harbor Freight ones. I'm doing this at 100 psi. Now this does come with a fitting that I don't like. I don't use these kind of fittings right here. These are the fittings that I normally use. So if you do plan on getting one, they do sell these kind of adapters at Harbor Freight. And then what I did was I just screwed this one on just so I could have this as a backup. It's a 110 volt system, so nothing too crazy. I'm running at 100 psi. That's what they say you should run at. Didn't say anything about max or less. So I think this is a great affordable setup, being around $450. This is your vacuum hose, and then this is your air line and feed line for that. So the way how this does is it uses a Venturi effect. So it forces air and it pulls in vacuum by forcing out the air through the tip. So on that, you can close the valve just on that. Now I would have thought it would have been a great idea to at least have a closed valve on this side, so whatever air you kind of need to blow around on the extra walnuts that's just hanging around. Also does come with a extra set of goggles. Pretty nice. I use the goggles, and I have a headlamp on top just so I can see inside. As you're doing each cylinder, you know, obviously tape off the certain sections, so forth. So let me go ahead and show you. That's about 30 seconds of cleaning at the most, probably less than that. About 20 to 30 seconds of cleaning both valves. I mean, the return result is amazing. Obviously behind the valves you can't get, so you normally get with the pick, unless if I'm going to sit there and keep cleaning it. I mean, and then the mess, not so much. So you can see a couple little walnuts. We'll clean that up, but it's not all over the place. I've done a few walnut blastings and they've got all over the place. Now let me show you as a comparison, because that's cylinder number 4, and then I'll show you cylinder number 1. So cylinder 1 is obviously caked up, as you can see. So you can see all that gunk buildup that's on there. Now cylinder 2 is not as bad. It's a little sluggish, but it's not as bad buildup as, I don't know if you can see, there's that chunk that's right over there, so you can see a huge chunk. Cylinder number 4 was the one with the most sludge buildup. That was, or the carbon buildup. That was the one with the most issues. Obviously we had a 0 compression on this one. Now it wasn't because of the carbon buildup, but it was because of a broken spring. So this car has about 130,000 miles, 140,000 miles, right around there. It does come with 2 fittings, or I'm sorry, these came with 4. Sorry, totally forgot about that. So these ones come with 2 silicone hoses, just depending on how small you need the area to be. Let's see, obviously one gun. So the little 4 adapters that you got, I found this square one to be the most useful one. They are squishable, so it's not hard or anything. So everything's all squeezable. So this is where you would feed your gun right through, just like that. This one's the super long fitting. I mean, it gives me a pretty good angle of where I'm at. So just like that, that's how you would feed it. And then you can kind of just, get a little feel for the shot. But overall, I think it's a great fitting. If you do have it at your home, normally you're supposed to do these from 30 to 50,000 miles, but I do them around 100,000 miles. So I think this is a great setup to have. One of these will probably run at a shop anywhere from like 700 to a couple grand, just depending on what kind of company will be willing to charge you. So great setup to have on that. So good job, Autel. This was actually a pretty nice setup that I'm really happy with. Haven't tried the dry ice setup. I do planning on doing a dry ice setup. So on that, I will go ahead and show you an after result on cylinder number 1, just so you have an idea. Obviously I already finished number 4, but I will show you cylinder number 1 on that, so you guys can see a before and an after. All right, so here is the finished product of the valves. So let's see if we can get that a little bit more in depth. Now it's not going to be 100% perfect, but it's going to be enough where I'm happy with. So right there, I'm trying to lock in the camera, get that zoomed in. So there's that. And now I noticed that some valves clean super fast and some didn't. Like right over here, this one took forever to clean. One valve, these valves right here on cylinder number 4, those ones cleaned up really fast. So that's why I said I cleaned them up in like 30 seconds. So I was like, wow, really amazed. Then after I did the other one, so I kind of got the feel for it. Now, during or the end of the cleaning, what I did was I took out the filter just to kind of see it was pretty clogged up, and you'd have to kind of flush it out with air. I don't recommend on washing it. If you do wash it, then go ahead and just air dry it. But I air blew it from the inside to the out, just so we can get it all cleaned up, because it does get clogged over time. Other than that, finished results pretty set. Once I got over here, I did make a little mess. I did clean up my area, obviously. Use the air and then vacuum. So also when doing the valve adjustment, you're not gonna be doing it on each cylinder that like all at once. You actually need to rotate the crank and make sure that both valves are closed, because if you get the walnuts inside the cylinder, you could damage the cylinder. Also, make sure you have your ports plugged when doing that. With this vacuum, it does have a lot of control mess, so the mess you wouldn't be accumulating as much as versus trying to do it like out in the open like that. So I like it. It's a decent product. I'm pretty happy with it. For the valves that were giving me a lot more longer, I used a pick to kind of scratch it, and then I hit it back with the valve, and then that helped out a little bit for some of the really stubborn debris. Oh, and I know recommended PSI is 100. I bumped it up to 120 just to give myself a little bit more extra boost, and that did help out too as well. I'm using a 27-gallon Fortress tank. You can get those at Harbor Freight. So that one worked out pretty well for this job. Now, obviously, it's not the most suitable one for this job, but it did it. So I'm happy with it. Could probably got better results with a better compressor, but it's a little 27-gallon, so I don't use air tools as much. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions, and hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And thanks for watching.